Welcome to another episode of Sports and Discourse with your host, Derek Stevenson. And on today's episode, we are going to look at yet another player that Kentucky is recruiting out of the transfer portal. Kentucky is super desperate to get another big right now. They've looked at Hunter Dickinson. He turned him down in favor of Kansas. We had to recruit Onyenso back on the team. We had to re-recruit Aaron Bradshaw, who was thinking about leaving us and going to USC. I'll probably do a video on that after this. But we also looking at Grant Nelson, and now we're going to take a look at Keshad Johnson from San Diego State. Once again, Calipari is looking at guys that kind of seem to be a little versatile. The thing is, Calipari hasn't never really let a lot of his bigs play out on the floor. But it seems like everybody that he's been recruiting lately is kind of the versatile big man that likes to stretch the floor a little bit. Hunter Dickinson plays mostly under the basket, but was shooting outside. Aaron Bradshaw is a pick and roll, mid-range to long-range jump shooter. And that's probably what he's going to look forward to doing at Kentucky to try to propel him to the next level. Grant Nelson is pretty much a 6'11 guard. He plays all over the court. And it looks like Keshad Johnson does a little bit of the same. So we're going to get into some highlights of Keshad and see what we think about him. Let's go on and get into it. The one thing that I noticed right off the bat with Keshad is he's not really a super big, strong looking dude. He still kind of seems slender build, but he does seem to be able to hold his own down low. It seems like he can bang with guys down low. He's not going to get moved around easily. Which is a good thing because, like I always say, a lot of the issues with freshmen that come to Kentucky is they just so young and underdeveloped that, they got the talent, but they really don't get to fully utilize it until they get physically developed. So it's kind of always good to get some guys that, are a little bit more physically developed. And he seems to be a guy that works hard around the bucket. But can shoot a little bit as well. He seems like a high motor individual that's going to make sure that he gets involved. And Kentucky needs that because sometimes, we got players standing around, but it's always good when you got a couple guys that just seems to find their way to the basketball, even if, there's no plays ran for them. Because that's one thing that I think a lot of guys struggle with on Kentucky this season was when they didn't have plays ran for him. It was kind of hard for him to get involved. I think Chris Livingston struggled with that a little bit earlier in the season. He sort of kind of found his way towards the later part of the season, learned how to get involved when Cal wasn't running any plays for him. But that's difficult for a lot of players. So one thing that I'm noticing about Keshad is Keshad just seems to find his way into the game, whether they give him the ball or not. He seems to, he'll break to some open spots, make himself available, or he'll work hard around the basket. But that's the one thing that I like is that he seems to fill the spots, pretty good, which, definitely could be a great thing with this year's team because it seems like we're going to have a lot of guards that's able to get out in transition and we need some rim runners to go along with the guards because we're going to have a lot of guys that can basically play point or shooting guard. Reed Shepard, Rob Dillingham, DJ Wagner, Justin Edwards all seem like they could play pretty much both guard positions. And they're going to be running and moving and shaking. And we need some guys that can fly up and down the court with them and be ready to catch some alley oops like we just saw Keshad do right there. Keshad is a for he's not like, I don't look at him like as a bruiser, but he kind of has like a bruiser type game. Like he definitely loves contact, man. He don't shy away from contact at all. He mixes it up. He goes to his spot, and if you ain't strong, he's gonna move you out the way to get to it. But he does look like he actually got some decent little touch around the basket. Like his mid range is pretty solid. It looks like he can stretch the floor a little bit. But I like his aggressiveness around the rim for sure. He works hard around the bucket, man. He's not extremely tall. I don't know exactly how tall he is, but he doesn't look like he's got dominant height. But he definitely he uses his strength and his athleticism around the bucket and his work ethic. He definitely he's a multiple possession guy. Like, he don't give up on the play. If he misses his initial shot, he's very quick to get right back to the basket. If he misses his initial attempt, he has really good instinct to, try to get right back into play. So, he just seems like a hard worker. And we need that. Definitely. We need some guys that's just going to work hard, going to run the court. Like I said, I feel like Kentucky got a team this year that should be deadly in transition. But, that's going to start with us being able to play good defense. We need some shot blockers. Hopefully Onyenzo, hopefully Bradshaw can give us some rim protection, because that's going to be the key. Like, when we got those guys blocking some shots, then we're going to be able to get out and run. And I feel like we got some guys that's going to be able to make some stuff happen in transition. And then we got some bigs that, even if they trailing, like if Bradshaw blocks a shot and he's trailing the play and we don't get a bucket in transition, Bradshaw might be able to catch one at the tail end of the fast break and shoot some jumpers. Keshad look like he can do a little bit of that. Grant Nelson does. So, I feel like we can make some things happen if we just fill a couple more positions. And definitely Calipari is desperately trying to get another big on the team. Don't know what's going to happen with Oscar Tshiebwe yet. Don't know what Chris Livingston is going to do. Reeves. Things are kind of still up in the air for some of them guys, which probably makes it hard for Calipari to continue this recruiting process. It would probably be nice to know if some of these players was definitely leaving, so he could go on and move on to try to fill these spots, because I'm sure it's probably hard to recruit some of these guys and you really don't know what to tell them if they have questions about roster spots and different things like that. Probably makes it really difficult. So hopefully things should be rounding out pretty soon. But yeah, another guy that to help around the bucket, physical dude. Like, he plays rough, plays hard, uses his strength. He gonna definitely put some shoulders into people. He gonna definitely use his trunk to move people out the way, and then he can stretch the floor. So there you have it, man. But anyways, like we always do, you guys are more than welcome to let me know what you think about Keshad in the comments. And so far, how do you want the rest of this roster to round out? Do you like Grant Nelson? Do you like Keshad? Do you want Oscar back? Let me know who you looking at, who you like out there. And we'll get back at it next time. Sports and Discourse with Derek Stevenson.